What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below. This one is entitled Is Interracial Dating About Competition? In the last few years, the stereotypes for interracial dating for the past is behind what's presently going on. What I mean by that is people's families have their racial stereotypes and biases and superiority complexes, but there's more, it seems like there's more interracial dating now than 10, 15 years ago. And I gotta wonder, is it about competition? Because I'm seeing women of other ethnicities and other races actively competing for men of a different race or ethnicity on a regular basis. And what I mean by that, I think that the recession under Bush, the Obama years, and now, I don't think people really thought about the dating part of the economy, where now it's more nuanced, where top of the food chain would be white guys, right? Then I guess Arab, Asian, black, black would be like, it goes up and down. Like financially it's white guys, looks is black guys, probably I guess macho-ness is probably Hispanic guys. Intelligence, maybe Asian guys. You get what I'm saying? But that's how I say it, just to be stereotypical. That's not a true 100% statement, but I'm just trying to give everybody a top slot. So what happened that I'm seeing now is, as a black man, I'm seeing more and more non-black women actively make themselves available, even when they're in the company of their other men. Like, that's one thing that women have a problem with. They're not really discreet. They're just outright disrespectful and thinking they're discreet, and they do things, to that's going to cause a conflict. And you can see it because, an example, this morning I was doing something, and this has happened numerous times. So another woman, another ethnicity, beautiful. She was a beautiful woman. In my opinion, low-key flirting. Okay? I'm stretching. She comes and stretches where I'm at. But I'm facing this way, like I'm facing you. And she comes and faces me, but then she turns around and stretches, so her ass is basically 4 feet away, and she's just ass, legs, and she's constantly, and she got her tights on, and she's spreading her legs wide, and I'm still doing my thing, like stretching and sit-ups, and I'm like, this ain't normal. Like, women don't normally do shit like this. And she's looking every now and then to see if I'm paying her attention. I'm looking at her like, yeah, you fine, but and I saw her earlier, and she was with a guy, but when she walked by, she was looking. And I'm like, okay. And the guy, she was one race, he was another. But what happened was, while she was stretching in front of me, a guy of her same race, quote unquote, ethnicity, came and he's like, oh, hell no. So then he literally gets in the middle, and she sees that like he's like, I'm here, she'll be like in front of me. He pulls up and he's like over here on the side, and he's just kind of scoping the area like. So then he moves like in the middle. I'm like, she ain't even with you, but whatever. But that's that racial chivalry. Like, I'm gonna protect my woman. We not finna have this one go down, right? And I'm starting to think, is this really just is it because of competition? Because now people are pricing people out or seeing what kind of individual people are, because people are talking more. And while black men and black women seem to be talking less and less, other women seem to be talking more and more. And I've said it before, I've seen these scenarios a few times where, these non-black women are very forward. I was at a restaurant a week, 2 weeks ago, and girls there with her girlfriend, and she's like, I remember you. Yeah, you used to work out at the gym. And I don't know how this shit happened, but she basically told me she didn't have no gag reflex. We weren't even talking about, it was just a conversation with her and her girl, and I don't know what happened while she was drinking, but she just let me know I ain't got no gag reflex. And I'm like, I don't know I was just ordering seafood. I don't know how the fuck you just went from that to that. I wasn't even talking to you at this particular point. I was over here, but whatever. But it seems like everybody is not as successful as they once were. You got your one percenters, in a sense, or your upper echelon people, which seem to be less and less and less, but everybody in the middle, or not, everybody who's not on the top, from the top down, is competing for comfort, or love, or attention, or sexual gratification. Because I listen to people, I observe people, and you're seeing, just as a man looking at the landscape of men in general, you're seeing less and less masculine or manly men. You're seeing less and less providers. You're seeing less and less protectors. You're seeing less and less breadwinners. You're seeing less and less younger guys who you would think is up and coming and can take that slot. And you're seeing more dysfunctional or broken or just beat up men that you could tell these women don't necessarily want, even if they with them or not, or just around them. Like they're looking for something better. Like they just, not. And the same stereotypes you could put on black men of being lazy and mad kings. These women of these other ethnicities say the same thing about their men too. They keeping up a good, quiet, stoic stance, but they women like, man, I'm tired of this. I'm so tired of you guys. And I'm a middle class guy. I'm a blue collar middle class guy, but I see it in the way things go on, and I'm realizing these women are really, they just trying to get with somebody that's winning, because all of these women of other ethnicities, they aren't winning either. They got roommates, they got girlfriends, they're not making as much money as they say, or their social media life ain't their real life, and they want stability, they want comfort, they want a guy who's they're attracted to, they want a guy who's just a man, they want to be somebody's number one. And these women are aggressively competing for men now, who are not in their same race, because I'm guessing they're burnt out or they're not finding what they're looking for within their race. So I think interracial dating is getting competitive, because these are things I didn't see 5, 10, 15 years ago. Forget the, oh, my family doesn't like, oh, my family, these girls ain't caring. And what I mean by not caring, I don't mean they won't get disowned or their family won't throw a fit. What I mean is their families even want them to be with their own. They do. And they're tribal, and they do. And some of them are biased and racist and prejudiced. They are. But their families can say the same thing. They're not finding, they don't have the men that they used to have. They're not building people like they were anymore. And they're not, and the women, we're saying that about the women. They don't build them like they used to. So now, the race is on to get the best you can find, no matter what it is. And women are actively flirting, and sisters are like, and I used to see it with black women where, yeah, they'd be kind of standoffish with us brothers, but then, very flirtatious with non-black men. And as a black man, it's kind of odd to see that now from a certain demographic of women. And what I mean by certain demographic, the girls who are in their physical, sexual prime, who are ready to be girlfriends, wives, and have children. Not the fetish age girls who just looking to see the BBC. These are girls and women and young women, more particular young women, and women who really want to actually be somebody's woman. And that's just, it's crazy to me, but now I'm looking at it differently, because I'm like, these women are competing, and I see them in public when I go out, and they're with guys, and then they separate. Nah, I ain't fucking with y'all like that. They could come with people, and that you be like, they are letting people know, that's my family, that's my friends, but I'm single. Like, they really putting it out there. And if they're putting it out there, then, and I know they're doing it with everybody, or they're just doing it with the guys that they're attracted to them, it's going to get interesting, because most of the guys I know don't have a problem pulling a woman of pretty much any other race or ethnicity. And not purposely. There's some guys who particularly go after non-black women, but these guys, they're getting approached. They're getting flirted with. They're getting, like, these women are hitting them up like, yo, I want to talk to you. I would love to be with a guy like you. I'm like, whoo, didn't see that before. So I think it's going to be interesting, man, because the old adage about getting the ugliest and the worst, that still exists with the older guys, but that's not what I'm seeing in these streets now, pimp. Not at all. I'm out.